guys, welcome to today's video. We're riding the mic in the shop. It's been a while since I've been in this thing. Yo, just check the mail. Get it? Check the mail.
You check the mail?
Bro.
She manual now.
Bro. This got too big for me to be in this car. Look at that. Bro, the left leg's looking thick.
She's a little stiff now.
Guys, I need to take a quick break from the video to give shout out to massive big sponsor, LZMFG. As you can see, the shelves are stocked and we're ready to fire away. We got orders that are going to be coming in from all over the world tomorrow because we got a big drop and we have a brand new shirt. This is our newest BC V3 collaboration tee. Wow. What was the saying I said before?
Not this again.
Don't wait. Secure your fate. We got a massive restock. Mike is putting on the screen all the designs and the different things that are coming. I think we also have a Rookie of the Year, the first time we've ever done it on a hoodie, all in stock, dropping Friday, which is tomorrow at whatever time is on the screen right now. Set a reminder. Don't miss out. We found another number here, and some people in the comments said that it could just be like a actual build number when they're hand building the car or in the factory, whatever, numbering the parts. And that looks like the same writing that we saw on the other black piece.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah, I forgot that we'd need to pull the subframe to get to the gas tank, so now it's making me want to do the subframe now and not put in crusty old thing. So I'm gonna see if I can get some stuff zinced on the quicker end, but I mean at a bare minimum, I can put in the new subframe and always change the hardware later. So this thing probably won't be going back in. So we've got a couple options. We've got the stock subframe, which I've been comparing differences on, to the brand new OEM S15 subframe, to a powder coated S14 subframe that I got off Tommy. Initially I was debating between using these two because this one I'd have to remove the bushings from, whereas the one I got from Tommy already had the bushings removed, which is nice. But when you look up closer, the powder coat just, you can tell that there's some surface rust underneath it, especially underneath. If I roll this thing over, you can see all the pitting underneath, where when you look at the OEM one, the finish is a lot better. But one thing that I just noticed that adds another complicated factor to this is you can see a little bit of like kind of surface rust coming through by the welds, like the factory coating's almost failing. So I wonder if I should get it powder coated a second time. But anyway, the whole point of doing this is just to be able to delete HICUS without having to run one of those stupid delete bars that's just like very thin and kind of sketchy and have a traditional toe arm. There's a few little differences that look like it's more so to do with plating for this. Specifically like up here, there's a little brace here that's not on the 15 subframe. There's a little bit of bracing down here. Yeah, I think I'm still torn. I don't know if I want to put this one back in or put the other one back in or put the dip in this one or the other one. It's gonna have to do with timeline and see how long it's gonna take to get stuff. I think you guys are all aware that I do not have the best diet. I'm sure some of you guys can relate, and there's a company called Ritual that can help us fill in the gaps. Ritual is the obsessively researched, transparently made multivitamin with no fillers or shady additives. Colette's been taking their essentials for women forever now, and she's been pushing me to try it. And these two little capsules provide 10 nutrients that can help support a strong foundation for our health. There's this little mint tab in there too that makes them all smell really good and like mint. Probably one of my favorite things about Ritual. It's an awesome company. The bottles are recycled, they're vegan friendly, sugar-free, non-GMO, gluten-free, and allergen-free. One other cool thing about Ritual is that the capsules are no nausea delayed release that are gentle on an empty stomach, so if you take your vitamins in the morning like I do, it's not as big of a deal if you've had breakfast or not. With Ritual, it's only $1 a day to get the 10 high-quality nutrients your body needs, delivered straight to your door every month with no strings attached. I've got a discount code for you guys that will get you 10% off your first 3 months. All you gotta do is go to ritual.com/LZ. I want to give a massive thank you to Ritual for sponsoring this video, and I'm excited for you guys to try them for yourself. Go check them out.
So, we don't have space for anything. So if you have an R34 and you want some fuel lines, evap lines, we got you.
Basically brand new.
But yeah, brand new. This car is brand new. It's 50 miles.
You guys remember on the live stream that I did, dude hit me up by the name of Mike. That was a company called New JDM, and he actually does small batches of Zinc stuff. He can't do huge stuff like Tommy, but the cool thing is he's able to get stuff done really fast, which is awesome because I didn't want this to be held up for another 2 weeks because Tommy's guy like kind of has like cycles of weeks and stuff. So with that being said, I can rip all this hardware out. I'm gonna get it out to him. He said he should be able to have it back to me early next week, which would be sick because now I can do the subframe once and not put it back in, take it out, put it back in again with new hardware. Because I was scared of having the car down for a while, but I think this would be the move. Probably the most useful that the Audi has been for anything ever.
About 500 pounds of endless brakes.
So, I don't think I ever talked about this in the video, but endless brakes are like one of my super fanboy JDM parts, and one of the things that I feel like my Evo's been missing is upgraded brakes, but I couldn't confirm if they would work with my TEs or not. So Sam helped me connect with Endless, figure out what kit would actually work, and I ordered 2 of them. One for the white car, one for the red car, and they're both in special colorways that like aren't just easy to get. And I owe a big thank you to Sam and Oka-chan at Yashio Factory for helping me source this stuff. But I'm super excited to open them up, test fit them, and make sure they're gonna work with the wheels on the Evo. I think I'm more excited than I was for the 34 endless brakes, just because of the fact that like I can get instant gratification, put them on the car, and go drive them right away. If you aren't super familiar with endless brakes, what I love about them is they are just as good, if not better, than Brembo's, with all the cool points of being an awesome Japanese company with a lot of heritage in motorsports and a lot of very famous builds that I've looked up to always have endless brakes on them. And let's see, our first set. What color is it gonna be? Woo. That's a red boy. That's a light caliper. So the Evo Brembos are actually really good, and you can get a lot out of them. To be fair, I don't know how much we're going to actually gain going over to an endless compared to stock Brembo. I think it's going to be weight savings and mostly looks, but
you can't complain about that. I mean, come on.
I love it.
Such a good looking caliper.
Usually most people end up getting blue because that's kind of the off-the-shelf color, where these take a while to get made and kind of difficult to order in different colors. But now that I've gotten the taste, I cannot stop. All right, I need to do this again, but find the other color now.
There they are.
Ooh, yellow's kind of been the theme on the white Evo, and I want to continue. That's so good.
I love the finish on the endless logo.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if these are the rears or the fronts. I don't remember if it's a 4-pot front kit or if it's 6. I think it's tough because of the 17-inch clearance. So we'll see. These might be rears, these might be fronts. I don't know, but either way. Look at that color. Oh,
There's a McDonald's over here.
Oh yeah, so this is the rear. But still. Goddamn.
So I'm doing this way because I didn't know how tight it was gonna be in there with the lines. So once I route them, we have a better idea of what we're working with.
So I don't know if I explained this in a video or not, but unfortunately with the bougie ARC radiator that I wanted, I believe it like added a couple extra rows up top, so the stock clutch fan shroud doesn't work. There's no mounting points to it, which leads me to think that their intention is to not run a stock clutch fan and run E-fans. I like running clutch fans, but they are kind of ugly, and in the case of this, it's not a drift car. I'm cool with going E-fans. You may get a little extra horsepower with them too. I don't know. I've never actually like tested that theory, but I guess it makes sense. It is a space concern. It's kind of difficult to fit electric fans in our chassis on my R32. I had to stagger them and kind of put them at angles, but I want to try to figure out what fans we're going to run today, so that way I can send the radiator out to get a fancy shroud made, and I might even try to do some of the like speed flaps, so when you start going fast and the airflow overpowers the fan, it'll open up and then let more air pass through the radiator. But I just keep ordering as many fans as I can to test and figure out what works, and then I just return what doesn't. So this one is probably gonna be a little bit too big to fit a shroud, but I said, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna get it anyway. And I think it's gonna be good. Oh yeah, that's perfect. I'm glad I didn't listen to myself. So this one will be the thinner one. What do you think?
So close.
I have a thinner one, but the thinner one's a little fan.
You can't say that on TV.
This is not TV. The internet.
Oh.
I think this one will be chilling. Well, it works if it's going to be down low, and then this is the bigger boy.
So you are going to run stagger?
I have to. So I guess in theory I could have run two of those, but then that fan was like, I don't know, it would have been less CFM that I would have been comfortable with. It would have been like 1600 CFM versus staggered. I'm like well over 2000. CFM is bullshit, by the way. It's irrelevant. Most manufacturers' CFM ratings you can't really compare. The best way to tell is usually by looking at the amp draw, which kind of tells you the story of the motor on it, because if you have a thick radiator, even if you have a fan that pushes a lot of CFM, probably can't pull through it. I ran into that issue before where I bought a fan for a build that was rated at some crazy CFM. It didn't do anything, and I bought one that was rated the same CFM but pulled more amps, and it was like night and day. Would you agree with that, Chris? I see you grilling me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this one, we can get about the same spacing. We'll have about the same clearance. It's going to be tight, but it is going to be a very busy day today. When I realized that the subframes are a little bit less reinforced than the R chassis one, I spoke to Tommy about it, and he says that he usually uses the GK Tech reinforcement plates. We have a few of these on the R32 subframe, so I got these. Marco's going to be tackling that on the new S15 subframe today. Good luck. And then Johan's finishing up fuel stuff, mounting the D-Works fuel pressure regulator, and I'm going to do the endless brakes on the Evo. So
Busy day. A lot of stuff.
Yes. Chris, what are you doing today on that?
Brake master cylinder, column, dash in, engine mount, put it on the ground, measure shock travel, and get back with Garrett on new shocks.
Sounds easy.
No. This is like the advanced version of like when they have the kids with the squares and then the circles. Yeah. This is like, there he goes.
This is how I felt when we did the chaser one. There's instructions, but freaking we burned them.
You need to know.
Nope, we'll figure it out. Resist the urge, Chris.
I mean, the instructions would help, but they didn't have any pictures and we don't know how to read, so.
I need to add like caveman noises over this.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are you simpletons doing?
I bet it would be more obvious if we flipped it upside down.
No.
I think it would.
Alright.
Usually this will go underneath one of the arm pickup points. That's what would make sense.
Like,
I feel like it's usually like something like this. I feel like I'm getting warmer.
these instructions could help me if I could read.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second.
Oh, no more.
I think I'm onto something. This.
Oh, they got pictures.
Oh. Oh.
Yup.
It lines up with the holes, but that doesn't look right.
He's figuring it out.
Oh my god.
Got it.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
What? Chris is over there. I think he's playing with the other subframe.
Yeah.
Trying to show us up.
I did it. Alright, let's go. What's next?
Cool.
Such-
Yeah, I've done 35 subframes in my life. Look at me putting Legos on, making kids feel like babies. When you can't read Japanese and there's no information on your kit, you pull up the Translate app. Nothing really super important that I've found by using this. The only thing that I've realized is they come with these little like anti-noise shims that have like adhesive on them. They say not to use them if you're going to be driving like very aggressively or on the circuit because they have like a paste on the back and it'll melt and then they slide around. So I'm not going to put these on immediately, but if I get squeal, I could always put those on for the street. Alright, so since this always starts arguments and people argue in every single video, I want to make this very clear. R. R means right. We're going to take out the rotor marked right by Endless. We're going to put it on, and every single comment is always, oh, you're putting them on backwards, because they see the slits in the rotor. And I guess a lot of aftermarket rotors, it usually goes the other way because people think that this indicates the direction of the cooling channels. But from Endless, this is how they are intended to go. And if you see someone that has them the other way, they are just dumb and they didn't read the box and they put it on the wrong side.
Your rotor's on backwards.
No, it's not. So, and it adds to the confusion because people probably see these and they think, oh, well, you know, those should probably spin this way. That way it's scooping air. But it actually comes from the inside and gets thrown out, which makes sense then in this fashion. But, yeah. My rotors were not on backwards on my R34. Stop saying that. Also, I know I need to change this stud. I don't have one right now.
Short stud boy.
It's enough. What can I say? And if you think it's weird why I'm like leaving the other caliper still installed, I'm trying to dump as little brake fluid as I can on the ground because I use really expensive Motul brake fluid on this car. Not only that, I just don't feel like having to bleed all the air out of the system, so I'm going to try to lose the least amount of fluid and leave the other caliper connected as long as I possibly can. One cool thing about these markings are actually for the proper heat range that you run the rotor at. So this will tell you when the green starts to fade that you're kind of at a certain temperature, and then if the red starts to fade, then you know you're getting them a little bit too hot. But I thought that was kind of cool, neat, and interesting. Oh, I wanted to weigh these side by side. I'll do that real quick. Old setup, we have 28.5 pounds. Mind you, those other rotors too were probably like the lightest two-piece rotors we could get for the stock setup, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is the same weight, if not heavier. So I got 18, 28.1, what was the other one?
28 something.
Yeah, so it's about the same, and I don't have the brackets or lines on this, so
Yeah.
you can assume they're about equivalent, but we got an extra, it looks like, I don't know, maybe like half an inch on the rotors or something. And we went up to a 6-pot from a 4-pot, so keeping the same weight's not bad. The pads that I went with are their MXPL pads. They're not a circuit compound, but they would be the equivalent of like a street pad that can be used on track days. They have one tier down from it that's like, yeah, you know, do some autocross stuff here. These are like a little bit higher heat range, so they should work well for what I'm doing. Not a race bred compound, so it should be cool because I can use these on the street and on the track, but very good heat range for a pad. It's supposed to have a lot more linear feel than the pad below it, which has like a higher initial bite, but not as good of a heat range. So I'm excited to see how they feel. One cool thing that I didn't even know existed, and Johan actually told me about, Radium makes these hangers specific for S chassis and R chassis that have room for aftermarket fuel lines and for the stock line still. They can bolt right up to the stock locations. So you can see this one will kind of go right up in here. So this one would probably go something like this, yeah?
Yep.
That's sick.
Yeah, looks good.
I also did get the rack rebuilt. If you remember, it had like overspray and stuff on it, but it actually had a leak on one side. So I sent it out, got that rebuilt. So we got a fresh rack in here. I wish they like vapor honed it or did something else instead of just like painting it gray, but at least it's clean and not covered with overspray and gross. Okay, I caused some confusion yesterday in the last video because I said we were deleting a Tessa. No, we're not doing that. A Tessa, oh, I don't know if that's what I said, but that's what people thought I said. A Tessa is very important because that's what controls the all-wheel drive in the GTR. Basically activates the front and starts spinning the front axles when they start to see slip in the rear wheels. We're not deleting that. What we are deleting, there's a separate pump for the stock diff that comes on the V-Spec models. It's an active LSD. They're kind of weird, and the main reason why we're deleting it is we're switching to 411s. 411 is a gear ratio that comes in the R32s, so it's a lot shorter gearing. That's what Tommy has in his R32 GTR. That's what the Mine's R34 had. It makes the car a lot more fun, a lot more responsive, and a lot of people are concerned about, you know, like 6th gear being too short for the highway and stuff, but when you do the ratios, it comes out to be the same speed that you would be like in a 32 GTR in 5th, so it's not that terrible. I think like a 3.8 or a 3.9 would be more ideal, but that's the reason why that's getting deleted, and then Hikus just sucks, so bye-bye Hikus. Taking a quick detour, heading over to a car dealership in Orlando to pick up something spicy. It'll be a new one for me, so I'm excited. Well, I gotta say, this is definitely something that's a little out of the ordinary for me. I got some explaining to do. I'm rolling up to the shop and the guys have no idea. What do you think, Freddie?
I don't know. I don't even know what this is. What did you do?
I roll up, everyone's like, not again. It sounds pretty neat. That is extremely loud for stock.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like a V6.
We were also suspicious because you grabbed your backpack and you like scurried out of the office and we're like, where are you going? He's like, nowhere. What are you doing? Nothing. Like, ow. Back in an hour.
So it's not mine.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's really not. It's a press car.
Yeah, it's under your alias or something.
No, it's actually,
You're not fooling us.
it's actually a press car. It's not
Right.
mine. It's your new car. Woo! Very, very cool. Look how tiny that back seat is. I didn't even realize there was one back there. So, as I said, this is actually a press car. Lotus was kind enough to give it to me to play with. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Right now, I want to finish doing the endless brakes on the Evo, and then we'll dive more into this car and talk about it later on in this video. I got some good plans. The world's most all over the place video. We got some more goodies in here. Another box. Ooh, so pretty. So, on my other RB, I went with an LS alternator. On this one, we have a beautiful DC power, badass alternator with this sick billet cover. I was on the fence about doing the LS alternator because I had issues before in the other Skyline. They get kind of funky when it comes to like wiring stuff. And they just, I didn't want to put like a not so pretty looking alternator on, and this looks rad. What do you think?
Baller.
I know. I'm excited.
Billet with billet front.
We need this on all the cars. This is like the coolest looking pulley we have now. This is a 180 horsepower version.
Sick. So it's no wiring.
It's 180 horsepower.
Oh my god. The wrong one. You need another 400 horsepower.
That's 180 amps is what it means, right?
Yeah.
Okay. John's in a funny mood today.
You started the joke. I just try to keep going.
This is neat. Damn. This is the coolest alternator I've ever seen. I love. Thank you, DC Power. I've got a fact sheet here. It's 180 amps, so it's a demand-based unit and it only provides the current as it's needed, but what's really cool about it is I was actually on the phone with them and kind of gave them what I predicted the target RPM would be for idle and max RPM so they could build it around that, make sure we have the right size pulley so we're not overspinning it and making sure that we have the proper voltage at idle. So that's really cool. This is like literally custom built for that R34 and our predicted specs, so I'm excited. Johan made a very fancy bracket for me. One thing we've been trying to do is not drilling holes or mounting things that require a lot of cutting of the car. So he made a plate to mount the flex fuel sensor that utilizes the factory holes. If you want to show, it's pretty rad.
Yeah, just there was a hole here that we're not gonna use, and then another one up there. The steering column comes down and it connects with via the U-joint, and it's, you know, clears for that. The wiring harness will be on this side and it's short, so we don't have to run it back here. There's enough space back here to put it, so that was mostly the ideal spot, especially since there was the factory threaded holes on the chassis. So now take it off, we'll send the particle, and then yeah, so the fuel system will be, I'll make that line to the regulator, this line will run back, meet up back there with a union, and then that's it, do the wiring for that, but that's together with the other stuff that the engine needs. Yeah, sick. I told you guys I would tell you more about this car in this video. Unfortunately, it's getting dark and I just ran into some issues with the Evo. It's making some weird noise in the front. I want to check it out. This is the brand new Lotus Evora GT. Like I said, it's a loaner car. It is a press car for me to basically play with, tell you guys what I think about it, and I will be taking it to the track along with my Evo. I'm super excited to do that. I've spent a little bit of time in it today, but I'll spend more time throughout the week, and we'll probably follow up more so in the next video, but definitely have some interesting stuff to say about it so far. So I think I'm gonna close out the video here. There's been so much stuff going on, and it's cool to stay ahead of the game. Normally I'm just like trying to trail this stuff in the video, this stuff in the video, and it gets chaotic and Mike's brain explode and go boom. Yeah, big bomb effect. But yeah, I'm super appreciative of that. That's sick. I'm super stoked on the endless brakes, but I gotta figure out why it's making the donk noise right now. So hopefully it's not brake related and it's just something dumb, but we shall see. When you said, when you said, yeah.